Hello, Pisces, and welcome to Elevated Intuition. We are talking about October for you. So the energies of October. Just have these decks. These are the questions I'm asking over here on the side. So I have these decks out, and just to show you what we've got going on, we're going to go with this as our main deck because October, Halloween. Also, this is Kayanite. It's also called Witch's Broom. That's why it's here. And then this is, I want to show you my cat planter, black cat planter. Okay. You're like, oh, that's great. What about me? Yeah, what about Pisces? What energies will be flowing with Pisces this month? Let's see, can I get a card for the energies flowing with Pisces this month? Whoa, and then it came out and 10 of Wands. And then it came out and like spun in reverse, right? Which I'm gonna take it that way. I'm gonna take it in reverse. But I wanna show you what this card looks like. 10 of Wands is an energy of, and it's interesting that we're in the 10th month, right? It feels like you've been picking things up here and there, like every month. It may be at work, it may be in your relationship, it may be, you know, even in a family situation. Like you just keep taking on more responsibilities and more responsibilities, and the climb on your journey is getting harder and harder. Like even your little friend here, this cat, is riding on your back. And when it is in reverse, it talks about, you know, it's time to set some things down, especially if it's starting to feel overwhelming, or, you know, when we have this heavy load, we're not even really looking towards the future. We're usually looking down, we're looking at our feet, so we're not even seeing what's coming at us. So it might be a time to just stop where you are, assess what's going on. What are these things that you're carrying? What are these things that you're doing? What can you let go? I love the autumnal equinox, which is September 21st, I think. It's around that time. And it, you know, when we're changing seasons, we always hear about spring cleaning, right? It might be time to do some fall cleaning, and it might be time to just let go of some things. This could be physical things, like in the you know, real world, clean out your closets. There's clutter that's getting to you. It could be, you know, just like, okay, it's time to do the dishes. It's getting overwhelming. If you're the one who always does the dishes and it's wearing on you, it's time for you to say something. It's time for you to raise your hand. It's time for you to let people know that you need some of these burdens taken off of you. And I feel like, Pisces, that you're just somebody who just will pick up and take these on, no problem. And other people don't even think about it. So don't get angry that you're the one who always does the dishes. You're just the like, it's really interesting how we all get into our own little bubble and our own way of thinking, and you're the one who sees the dishes and does the dishes, and you're like, well, it's obvious, the dishes are right there. How does nobody else see them? You might have to point it out. We also teach other people how to treat us, Pisces. So if you step up and take responsibility and do something, and that kind of becomes your job, and you've taught other people that you're going to handle it. So when you want help from other people, you need to kind of like raise your hand and say, hey, I need help with this, or I can't help it, or can't handle this anymore. In a work situation, it might be time for you to say, you know what, I'm going to take a couple days off, you guys figure this out. Or, you know, I've taken on this responsibility because this other person is gone or got let go, and then you've never hired somebody back to do this, and I can't you know, things are slipping through the cracks. I can't handle it anymore. What can we do? Do these things actually need to be done? It's really interesting. You know, you can assess things, and, you know, maybe that doesn't need to be filed that way, where it takes you like 3 days to file things, or Maybe there's a better way of doing something. But like I said, when we keep taking these things on, we're kind of like looking down at our feet and not looking up. So it's time to just take a break, like understand that when you sit down, of course, no work is getting done, but it allows you to assess the situation a little bit more and to like wave a hand and say, hey, I need some help with this stuff. So I feel like, yeah, that's flowing for your month of Pisces. And where should Pisces focus attention this month? And we've got the Fool. I love this because look at the difference in these cards. I said you weren't necessarily, you're just kind of like looking at the next obstacle and how you're going to get around it. The Fool is like, you know what? There are no obstacles. I'm just going to jump off here and I'm going to trust that this broom that I'm riding is going to take me to this place. It's also interesting that she's carrying all these brooms and this one's actually riding a broom. So maybe there's some things that you're doing that, again, you're, instead of carrying the brooms, ride them. Like there's a different way to do the process, or to ask other people to help you to get up at the top of this hill, because I feel like this I love the Fool energy. It's just so freeing and fun and new, and I also love, we've got 10, which is kind of like a conclusion number, right? 9 is a completion, 10 wraps things up, and then we've got the Fool, which is a brand new, fresh beginning. So you're wrapping some things up, you're letting some things go. It's gonna feel like light and refreshing. And I've said this a couple times in readings recently, where it's even, and I think a lot of women understand this, like when you get your hair cut, that it just, it all of a sudden feels lighter and refreshing, and it just is a really good feeling. Just getting your hair cut can embody like this Fool energy, but it doesn't have to be life-changing. You don't have to like quit your job so that you can jump off a cliff. But the Fool is definitely looking forward. She's looking upward. She's not even seeing the obstacles. So there can be like maybe a meld of these energies for you if you're not really comfortable jumping off a cliff, Pisces. I'm an air sign, so I like jumping off a cliff, and she's gonna jump in water. You can swim. What challenges might you face this month, Pisces? So what challenges might Pisces face? We've got the King of Pentacles. So this is interesting that this can be a challenge faced. King of Pentacles could actually be a person. It could be in a mature masculine energy. That's an earth sign, which would be what? Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn? Yeah, Capricorn. So that could be an actual person. It could be your boss. Like it might be a challenge for you going in and speaking to this person. It could be your partner. It could be somebody who really should be picking up some of these wands for you, but he's just kind of over here eating his cake and is wondering why you're not eating cake. Well, you're doing all the work. So I think a challenge for you is speaking to that other person, speaking to those other people who you feel like could help you out. I don't think that he is gonna like say no to you because this is upright. So it's a constructive energy. It's somebody, but he embodies like control. And it doesn't have to be if you're like, well, my boss is female. It's masculine, so it doesn't necessarily need to be male or female. This is a masculine energy. But I say like, it almost feels like more of a work situation because it's Pentacles. So Pentacles deals with that, like with money, with your career. Also, Pentacles can deal with the physical, right? So your body. This could be somebody that you're going to for advice to lose weight. I know the dude here eating all the cake is maybe not your personal trainer, but not in this card, but it could be like somebody who is like, who is posing a challenge to you. Could be challenging to you because he sees that you're over here like, woohoo, I'm gonna jump off this cliff, and he's like, hey, wait a second, what's your plan? You're like, I don't need a plan. I'm just gonna have some fun. And he's like, hey, you know, so it could be challenging to you in that way. Like those people are kind of annoying, but necessary. And then this is, we've got strength in reverse, and this is something you should work towards letting go. It makes so much sense over here with the 10 of Wands reversed, because you raising your hand and saying that you need help with something or that you're overwhelmed with something, it doesn't mean that you aren't strong. You've been strong long enough. When strength is in reverse, I feel like it kind of reveals a vulnerability. Like if you're the 10 of Wands over here, if she keeps going, she is going to crack. And just because you raise your hand and say, I need help, it doesn't mean that you aren't strong. It actually takes a lot of strength to do that. So letting go of that idea that you can't handle things if you ask for help, or letting go of that idea that you aren't independent if you ask for help. We are here to help each other. That is our goal. We're not here to let other people walk all over us. So there is a certain amount of strength that's involved to do that. And then I also said something like, we teach people how to treat us. So I feel like you need to let that go of like, you're not strong if you ask for help. And then also there's a different kind of strength when you're, training these other lions around you, like, hey, that's not acceptable. I'm putting up some boundaries. It's not okay for you to just dump everything on me anymore, because you want this freedom. So we've got the 3 of Buttons, very nice. So this is the card that I pulled for relationships, and 3 of Buttons are 3 people that, and in this situation, I think they're hyenas. They're dog creatures, but they're working together, right? They work in a pack. And they're collaborating. There's teamwork, there's expertise, there's people coming together. And I feel like your work situation, like if you feel like you've been, too much has been dumped on you, raise your hand. There's people there that want to collaborate with you, that want to work with you. This is actually, I pulled this card for relationships, but it is very, very much related to working relationships as well, because Buttons is about work. And then usually these people are depicted as working together to create something. But this could be your friendships too, a side project kind of thing, or you want to work with your friends to do something. Maybe one of your friends wants to paint their house or stain a deck, or maybe that's you who wants to do that. And it's just like, it's a lot of like reciprocal collaborative energy. So very good with relationships. And then this card is actually for work and finance. Let's see what comes out here. Pisces. Oop. Hold up. What? Okay. I was like, that's not what flipped over. All right. 7 of Needles. And this is reversed. So this is interesting. So this is actually pretty good in your work relationship, because upright, the 7 of Needles is about people kind of going behind your back. It could be gossip. That could be part of the burden that you're carrying and holding on to. When 7 of Needles is reversed, there's some confession time, conscious. People are like, okay, you know what? We can't treat you that way. And now that you're saying something, we really can't, because you've noticed it. We really can't treat you that way. It's truth coming out. You don't have any other needles in here, which would be swords energy. But I feel like there's truth in a situation coming out. Like if you said, hey, you know, why didn't we replace Steve, who left like 2 months ago, and they've just told you it wasn't in the budget or whatever, and you know, now it is. That kind of thing. Like that kind of stuff happens in work relationships all the time. The raccoon is somebody who you know, they're kind of shady. They dig through the trash. They're doing things for themselves. They're all out for themselves. So that's why the raccoon is kind of here on the 7 of Needles. But when it's in reverse, some things are coming out. So some things at work is coming out. And overall, I feel like it's good. I feel like it's a very positive thing for you. I feel like there's a lot of freedom for you this month, Pisces, involved in that. So just a couple more cards here. This is just, these are kind of more advice cards. These are oracle cards. For Pisces for October. Pisces for October. Whoop. Time to go. Interesting. So this is like, and this might, you know, it really feels like the transition between the 10 of Wands to the Fool. However, that looks like to you letting those burdens down and moving on to a better position. I don't know if that's work related. I don't know if that's home related, but certainly like walking away from something that is burdening you. Don't be afraid to do that, because there seems like there's a really refreshing feeling. It feels like it's definitely involved in like some truth coming out, and this 3 of Buttons, like the whole of October, like things are working for you. People are working for you, with you. And Observer, very interesting. This is 49 Observer. It's interesting that the fox is on here, because I often feel like the fox is somebody who is, you know, cunning and smart, and they make good moves for themselves. You know, it's time, and I said this even over here in the 10 of Wands, it's time to look up from your position and where you are and what's going on. And like, there could have been like, oh, well, don't worry, it's going to change. We're going to do something. Don't worry, you know, it's just for a little bit, blah, blah, blah. And they keep saying that. And you're like looking up and you're like, wait a second, there's no new plans for this to change. So it's kind of picking up your strength, Pisces, and saying, hey, what's going on here? I'm looking around and I'm noticing that things aren't changing the way that they need to be. So I just feel like that's the energy coming into October. And with the Fool, there's just some very freeing energy. Okay, I'll go ahead and take all 3 of these because they're small. So suavity, agreeableness, disingenuousness, and condescension. So these are like the shadow aspects of the suavity, of being suave. These cards pull medical terms from like the 1700s, so they're kind of weird sometimes. And it has a chameleon on here. I feel like sometimes it's a burden when you embrace that chameleon energy. Like you try to be everything to everyone. You try to pick up everything. You just kind of try to blend in. And then the agreeableness is, you know, kind of keeping up with those wands, but I feel like it's time to change that. Let's be a peacock. What is this? Approbativeness, ambition, coquetry, and vanity. So coquetry is kind of like flirting. Vanity is, you know, there's a mirror here and a peacock. But I think though, some of this energy is good for you. Some of this, you know, fanciness. But, you know, like, hey, I have, you know, like at the Ten of Wands kind of feels like, all right, I'm not too good to pick up these odd jobs. And it's kind of like, you know what? Doing all these odd jobs and being bogged down over here, picking up all of this stuff, like, I need to take a break for myself. Ambition, kind of with the Fool. The Fool is ambitious. The Fool gets excited about something new and kind of sets out with something new. So it's kind of like, you know what? It's time to like stretch your feathers. This peacock, like stretch your feathers, like really show your importance, not necessarily to show your worth. Like you're worth more than the way people are treating you when you're in this Ten of Wands reversed energy. Again, I don't know if they are aware that they're treating you badly, or if it's just something that they thought that you could deal with. And then we've got sight. Interesting that it goes over observation here. Sight, vision, and then the shadow of that is blindness and disregard. So we're letting go of this blindness and disregard. We're opening up our eyes and seeing where we are and seeing like the truth, because truth is coming out for you, Pisces. It's either coming out and you're finally seeing it, or it's been there and you're just now picking up your head and seeing the truth of the situation. But wherever that truth is in whatever you've been doing, I feel like there's a lot of positives. Like these three cards are very positive to take you to a better place. Actually, like all of the cards are very, very positive for you, because we've got people who want to work with you, truth coming out, you letting go of this heavy energy that you've been burdened with and you're carrying on, and just a really fresh energy. And this King of Pentacles, while it might feel difficult to go and talk to him, to that king, him, her, whoever that is, that king, it feels like something that's necessary, that needs to be done. And I feel like that person is somebody who will work with you. They're probably, you know, you're like, hey, well, how come you didn't see this? There might be some of that in there, but you have to kind of point things out to this king to make some changes. So that's what I have for you, Pisces. It does look like a lot of growth this month. It looks like some like just fresh energy, some freedom, which I think you need. I think that's you know, and so a little bit of truth with this observations and opening your eyes. It feels good. So that's what I have, Pisces. I hope to see you in the next reading, and I hope you have a great month. Thank you.